Next, we go inside out with our NFL insider, Connor Hughes. Connor, great to see you. You heard what Robert Saleh had to say about its defense. Do you think that they've been exposed a little bit during the team's 4-game losing streak?
I don't know. I think honestly, it's just a margin of error thing, right? When you had Zach Wilson under center for the Jets, there just wasn't one. The offense wasn't really producing. The offense wasn't putting up points. So there really wasn't any leeway or slack for the defense to have if they had a little hiccup. I know they didn't play particularly well against the Minnesota Vikings. That was kind of the one game that got out of hand a little bit from the scoreboard perspective. But if you look at their last 3 games, they've allowed 20, 20, and 19 points. I mean, a quick, simple math tells you that all they needed to do to go 3-0 in that stretch was score 21 points, right? That's not an asinine or ridiculous or a crazy request of your offense. In fact, there's 17 teams in the NFL that are averaging more than 21 points per game. So I think the unfortunate aspect of the defensive struggles as of late, and look, they definitely need to start forcing more turnovers. That is absolutely thing they must do, and they need to attack the quarterback a little bit more, something I think they'll get back to doing now that Quinnen Williams is back in the lineup. But I think it was more a result of the offense not really giving them any slack than it was the defense being in some ridiculous rut.
Yeah, well, of course, the big story now is the return of Mike White in a must-win game against the Seahawks. Who do you think has more pressure on them, Mike White or the offensive line, which has been struggling as of late?
It goes hand in hand. I think the problem with the offensive line, though, is that you're just seeing a deterioration of a group that's dealing with struggles that are probably not going to be rectified until the offseason, right? I mean, George Fant, he's dealing with a knee issue. He's basically playing on one leg. On the other tackle spot with Dwayne Brown, he's basically playing with one arm. Nate Herbig, he's dealing with some injury issues as well. He missed a game or so or a game earlier in the year. He's still recovering and dealing with that. Laken Tomlinson hasn't lived up to his contract, and Connor McGovern has kind of regressed to the player who struggled his first couple years with the New York Jets. So the offensive line is what it is. I think the Jets are just going to have to try to find a way to make it work with that group. But as far as pressure is concerned and who has the most at stake here, it is Mike White, because in a way, he's playing to prove to the Jets and really around the NFL that he can be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Not just a starting quarterback that replaces somebody who is struggling as much as Zach Wilson was, but somebody that you can say, this guy is our guy. And he's done pretty well through 2 of 3 starts last year. He's done pretty well in 3 of 3 starts this year. But now he has 2 more games to prove to the Jets and to show to the Jets that this team can be his team. Because if he beats the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle, if he beats the Miami Dolphins in Miami, and he positions the Jets where they just need a little bit of help from the Dolphins this weekend to get into the playoffs, well, look, I don't know what else you'd need to see to say to yourself, Mike White can be this team's quarterback in 2023.
Yeah, it'll be a huge test. All right, quickly, the other big story, the benching of Derek Carr, which likely means he has played his last down for the Raiders. Assuming that he's available, do you think the Jets will have an interest in him?
I do, yeah. I think they're going to have an interest in any veteran quarterback. I don't think the Jets go the drafted route for a quarterback. I don't think they look to do that. I think ideally what you're probably going to see is them try to pair a veteran with either Zach Wilson, and they try to, keep him in the farm system and develop him a little bit, or a veteran with a rookie that they draft in the 2nd or 3rd round and let that guy develop for 2 or 3 years before he becomes their quarterback of the future, eventually replacing the veteran that they signed. But the one commonality between both of those scenarios is the Jets signing a proven veteran quarterback. Derek Carr is going to be someone they absolutely explore. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be another. And then the wild card, what I could see happen, is if the Giants get too cute with Daniel Jones and he hits free agency and he's out there to flirt with, I think the Jets could potentially go look at him as another veteran they might potentially add, because he's certainly turned some heads around the NFL with his play this year, despite the lack of talent the Giants have.
That'd be fun. All right, well, never a dull moment around the Jets. Connor, thank you so much.
Oh, no.